and welcome to this week's episode of the Adventures of the Windswift. We are moving swiftly forward into battle by the looks of things. Tell us more about what's going on. One of our valiant crew will take us through a recap. And the Dice of Destiny, which is now digital, says it is Tobias.
I knew that. I could feel it coming a long way. My Dice of Destiny senses were tingling. Dice of Density. Right. Last episode, we talked a lot. At the end. No, we did a lot of planning, preparing, and basically we're heading to attack the Stalk that is in the Lost Bay. And they look like they know we're coming, but they might not know when we're coming. So last episode was mostly us preparing for that. Getting all our crew together, all planning everything, how we're going to attack. So I don't think there was much more than planning.
And departing at the end.
And departing, yeah. Yes, we left at the end.
You did indeed.
So we're heading there right now.
Correct. And that leads us straight to Con. You are in owl form. You do arrive slightly before the whale. What are you doing? The ship seems to be in standard night operations. Lanterns lit, patrols slowly wandering the decks. Most are below deck.
So I will set up a nice little circular patrol.
In the crow's nest?
There is.
In the owl's nest.
I will circle the ship.
All right, roll a d20 for me.
Studying the decks and everything else about it, and also keeping an eye, if I can, on the progress, since I know they're there, of the whales, if there's any sign of them.
Over there is this man.
How clouded is it?
Sorry, what was I rolling?
Just a d20.
11.
All right. It's the weather, as a matter of fact, is 1. There's a gathering storm that is slowly starting to brew its way in, but it does seem to be a natural storm.
Damn straight.
What kind of storm?
Yes, it seems to be a natural storm that is building out over the hot plains of the goblin tribes and slowly meandering its way towards the coastline, as is its wont. So that's what you're seeing. So it's quite dark, as a matter of fact. There is minimal movement on the deck itself as you're watching and looking. The quarters at the back, which is where you know the Archon would be based, are lit up with quite bright lights. They don't seem to be trying to hide the ship's position at all. Whether that means anything or not is, up for your interpretation. The 4 of you that are whale riding at the moment are amazed at this bubble that has encased you, allowing you to breathe. And the water around you is just pitch dark for quite a few moments as this beast's powerful tail moves through. And just because you have to straddle the ridgeline that runs from its dorsal fin all the way down to a lower fin on its tail, you can feel the tremendous amount of muscles busy pushing this beast through the water like a torpedo hell-bent on breaching the side of the Stockstrobia. It feels like it's a matter of moments before the beast starts to slow down and the merfolk turns to look back at you, and in this very almost whispering tone, which seems to be a little bit irrelevant considering that you're underwater, he says, "Where do you want me to take you on this ship? We have arrived."
To the rear of the ship.
There is a flick of the tail and the whale very gracefully glides towards the large, very dark silhouette of the rudder of this magnificent vessel. Like all order ships, the rudder is currently folded back to simply being a water rudder and not the aerial rudder that it does extend out.
Right. Well, I guess we get up then. Remember to anchor the ship, I say to the merfolk, before Jorik closes his eyes for just a split second and then puts his hand on the hull plating of the ship and starts climbing like a spider.
All right, you start climbing upwards. Atra?
I don't even need to roll for it because I have climbing speed. Yeah.
Yeah. Just swimming to.
I learned my lesson in Drakenmore.
Yeah, kind of going through the bubble into the water, I guess.
Sure.
And kind of taking a look as I breach the water surface.
Absolutely.
Kind of trying to get my bearings, and now that there's that I can actually see, because underwater, it's looking out of water, even if you can see it. It's ridiculous.
Yep, you breach the surface, and directly above you is the two levels that are dedicated to crew accommodations and the like.
Right.
And you can see those large stained glass windows. They're about 7 foot above the surface of the water, brilliantly illuminated, and you can hear the sound of laughter and talking coming from the one that's closest to you.
So trying to climb on the edge of the water onto the rudder. Right,
Sure.
like the machinations that's then there,
Not
and then kind of shake myself to kind of get the water off me, kind of taking a look around and try to remember where I need to go to find the oracle.
Sure, yes. So that's round the side to the left. If you're trying to go through the window.
So you say that the back is windowed, right? The lower windows start how much higher up?
7 foot above the surface of the water.
The lower windows start at 7 foot above.
Correct.
Okay, is there any kind of places where I could grab?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like barnacles or whatever? Like.
Yeah, but also just the nature of the aft section is very decorative, and the anticipation of people climbing up the sides of ships, generally speaking, it's quite a good thing, so that people can get out of the water if they do fall into it. So it doesn't pose any difficulty.
With like a little bit of help from the wings. But trying to be as silent as possible. That's why I don't want to fly right now. Kind of try to make my way towards the side, roughly where I want to go.
All right, perfect. Saket?
I point at Adressai and I'm like,
healthy. But sure. I mean, yeah, why not?
well, it's going to be more stealthy than me trying to climb that thing.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, it could be very useful. Let's do it. I'm going to cast Fly on the both of us.
Sure.
It'd be a 4th level spell. Just sort of go up and sort of grab her arms, not her.
Right. And then like barbarians.
And then sort of, as I sort of move up to the surface, sort of, I guess I'm sort of going to fly up against the ship and just sort of slowly make my way, just sort of touching the...
Against the windows?
No.
Just sort of touching the woods as we go.
So you go around the side of the ship and then start making your way up, so you're not going across the windows. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, one question from me. I don't know if these windows have the possibility to do that, but I would take a look and try to find like an open window if possible.
There are several. With the impending storm, the temperature is rising ever so slightly. So yes, there are several windows that are open.
Okay. Like pausing underneath the window out of sight if somebody's inside, not just like the...
Sure.
I'm just cleaning the windows, everything is fine, right? Like, yeah, trying to listen if there's somebody inside. You said like there were voices, so I'm trying to get into some place where maybe there's no one.
All right, that's what you're doing. Con, you see, hidden because of the bulge of the ship, 19 barbarian heads breach the surface and very stealthily start climbing up the front of the ship.
Only 19? What happened to number 20?
Drowned.
Can't see it from where you are.
I glide down towards the aft of the ship until I find my colleagues.
Yeah, it's quite tricky. Do you have dark vision?
I'm an owl.
I know that, but sometimes the rules don't necessarily reflect the obvious. But I'm sure you have dark vision. I mean, you are an owl, or at least low light.
Should have
That's
even
the
if it's
advantage on perception.
I have keen hearing and sight.
There we go.
Oh, I know. I do have dark vision up to 120 feet.
Lovely.
Yep.
You
Which seems a
see
bit
your
short.
You see your companions sort of fly climbing up the side of the ship. That would be Adresai and Saket.
They're not climbing.
Fine.
Jorik is doing his best
fine,
Spider-Man
fine.
impression.
Yeah.
I come to a landing on Adresai's shoulder.
Fireball.
Yeah, see, that's why I didn't land on Saket's shoulder.
How's it going? Seeing anything nice up there? They seem very happy. I mean, I guess I should ask yes and no questions right now. Any
the bird turns 180 its head.
are there heavy guard up there on the deck? No, they sound a little drunky. Are they drunky?
This is not going to work, obviously, so I'm going to sort of flap up and hover and try and get a look at who's laughing and drinking and whatnot from the lit windows.
Sure. You, all of you are busy doing your various bits and pieces. It's not difficult for you also to notice that the sound of the water against the hull has changed as large tendrils of kelp are now starting to slowly wrap themselves around the hull of the vessel. Atra, you were looking in first. You tried to find a window that's relatively quiet near the Oracle's rooms. That's not too difficult. The window, however, is not open. There is an open one, but it seems to be in the Oracle's room, and there is a hushed conversation that's busy going on in that room.
In the Oracle's room itself?
Correct.
Without getting too close, can I hear what they're saying? No,
You have your hat on.
Are you wearing the skull cap?
Yes.
You strain your hearing, and it definitely sounds...
getting too close in the sense of like it's a window, and if I just like outside the window and like,
you think you're being stealthy, and then you forget that you have horns that stick up in it.
I'm pretty sure a person who's born with these is quite aware.
No, so you get up to the window and you start listening in. It definitely sounds like a rather heated conversation that's being whispered is taking place. There's a very soft feminine voice who's on the defensive, and then this rather aggressive masculine voice who seems to be accusing her. And as you sort of get closer, you attune.
First question here. Since people come all from different places, I assume we all have different kind of accents. What we talk with, yes?
Yep, absolutely.
So the male voice.
Definitely Sagetti, without a doubt. And what you hear is basically he says, if you do not wish to help us in our course, then I don't see any purpose in keeping you on my vessel. I will simply cast you aside as we have done the rest of your people. Now, either you will get into their minds and find out where the Windswift is, or I will no longer need you. At which point there is the rebuttal of her saying, I keep telling you they have had training. I cannot get past their mind barriers. It is not something that I expected, and it is not certainly something that the Order taught them either. This is something that they initiated on their own. Perhaps that is why you have failed to interrogate them successfully as well. That's what you're hearing.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool. I'm not busting that party.
All right, not a problem. Con, you were looking into the party that was going on. It looks to be like a standard ship's party, or at least a ship's relaxation. You can see individuals that look definitely like officers. They're wearing the braided uniform of the Order. It is, yeah, they seem to be relaxing and taking in the sights. This is an anchor ship originally, so you can see anchors adorned on various crew members. It looks like most of them are in here. It looks like it's the first officer and possibly the captain who are entertaining the men. Lots of alcohol being served and handed around, and general revelry going on before the expected storm.
Okay. And their windows are open.
Yes, very much so. There's lots of candles in there. It's a very hot space.
Uvu, uvu, uvu.
Is there a room that is less noisy that we could get into?
Yeah, you could climb up to the deck above where there are several windows that are dark.
I think I'm going to do that.
All right. That's what you're
Find
doing.
an open window with an empty room.
None of the windows that are empty are open.
Ah,
There's no one in them.
I suppose they can't be opened from the outside because they're hatched. Right. Fine.
And
Face glass.
attempt to guide Adressai and Saket to follow Jorik to the darkened windows above the crew party.
All right. Because you're flying, you don't have to make climb checks. You're sort of walking up the side of the wall as
Like
one
Spider-Man.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, like Spider-Man. Well, I can get inside. It's just I didn't want to spend resources doing it, but I'm going to teleport inside and open the window from the inside.
Sure. The two of you see the window opening above you as you arrive.
I just wave. Get in.
Swoosh in.
I follow, and once I'm inside, return to my human form.
All right. You are all inside this very small, it looks to be a cabin of some kind, possibly third officer or fourth officer.
It's the barracks. Everybody's sleeping around you.
Yeah, absolutely empty. However, you do hear the ship's bell from the front of the ship. It goes dong, but it's definitely not the first bell on the slightest. But it only rings once.
I suspect our diversion is about to kick off.
All right. Let's sit tight for now.
Atra?
We sit here listening.
Yeah, I hear the gong as well, right? So what's the reaction from Captain?
Yes. Once she has said that, there is the sound of a slap, and she cries out in pain, and then the door slams, and she's sort of left to her own devices. It sounds as if she starts to pack something or unpack something. There's definitely something being put into bags.
So since the window is open,
Yes.
I would probably kind of be able to gauge if she's closer, if she's getting away, like roughly the movement, right? I mean, that's something.
Correct. Yeah. And the floorboards sort of creak, and she's in a bit of an anger, so she's dropping things and throwing.
Yeah, she's not necessarily like, yeah.
Hmm.
So waiting a second or two, and then the gong probably happens, right?
Yep, you hear the bell. Dang.
So that's like, what, 20, 30 seconds after the door is closed?
Yep.
Okay. Quick peek inside.
It is just this fairly elderly woman. She has she rolled badly. She has her back to you and is sitting on the corner of her bed. She seems to be, looks like she's arranging stones on her bed in a circular fashion.
Right. Trying to sneakily kind of get in, glide in, suavely.
I have come for you.
Exactly.
All right, give me a stealth check. You have advantage on the roll as you glide in through the window in the night.
Yes. 26.
26. You glide in like air. She does not even notice that you are there.
Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, sneak behind her, and I would like to backstab the fuck out of her.
Sure. Absolutely.
Bye.
She's completely prone, so you have advantage on your attacks. She doesn't even know that you're there, so you have advantage on your attacks.
Cool. All right, first attack, 17 AC.
That's a hit. I have
20
her here very briefly.
25 points for Gryffindor.
She cries out in pain.
Second attack. Please give me a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
4.
Paralyzed.
So no crying.
No cry.
Second attack. 25.
Oh yeah, that's it.
28 points for Gryffindor.
You sure this is?
I'd argue this is Slytherin.
Yes.
And that's what I did before. I slithered.
All right.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Oh, it had to happen.
so good.
All right. She's still.
You gave me that one. That's no,
Not you.
I did.
She's paralyzed, so she's not doing anything.
All right. Then, yeah, she's still alive.
You'd think so.
Then I would need now to roll initiative. I mean, it's not technically how it works, but it's factually, functionally how it
Exactly right. All right. Okay, so you leave her dangling by a thread. I don't think it makes much difference what the outcome of that is.
I mean, she's paralyzed. She's in a heap of trouble right now.
Yeah. The 4 of you hunkered down in your room. You then hear the sound of, definitely sounds like thumping feet, followed by a rather terrific explosion that rocks the entire ship backwards, forwards, and sideways.
Wasn't me.
That's the high.
That was not me this time.
Almost
I-
instantaneously, the alarm bell at the back of the ship on the aft castle starts to be rung frantically.
I think it's time.
I stand up and
Find out.
quiet, gingerly open the cabin door just wide enough to get a peek out and a better listen.
Well, listening is the problem because the party has now erupted downstairs, and it doesn't sound. Nope, they don't seem to have heard the bell ringing.
The
So
explosion as well.
they didn't hear it. The party is going on too well.
Wow, that's a wild party.
It's a big. Well, they're expecting you to arrive in 2 days, so and they have watchers who should be watching for the approaching ship if you were to even approach.
And ring
All
the
we
bell.
hear from down there is.
And you hear like a grumpy old grandpa like. Quiet.
Exactly.
Myself torture.
In which case, I motion to the others and hiss, quickly, let's get them whilst they're still in there.
All right.
Open door, fireball, closed door.
Here, hold this.
So I leave the cabin and start looking for a way down to the level below where the party is. My idea is, which I whisper hurriedly to my compatriots, is that if we can trap them in that cabin, well, that's a useful thing.
All right. Can everyone please give me an initiative check?
Of course, you might ask.
Yeah. I rolled 33.
Ooh,
I
good.
double clicked.
Plus 13? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I also got 3. How did?
19.
Okay, so Con, what did you get?
3.
Atra.
20.
I stand at the door pondering it whilst my companions run past me.
Adra.
No, 2, like a lemming.
19.
Saket.
3 as well.
3 as well. Jorik.
16.
16. And the the Marines got 14. Okie dokes. So, Atra, you are acting first.
All right, time for Ravenclaw.
Oh, yes.
So I still have advantage because she's paralyzed.
She is.
I crit. Confirming the critty thingy. I rolled 16 on the confirm. That's 3 times?
4 times damage, yeah.
All right. That means 39 plus 12. 51.
51.
First attack.
Sure. How do you kill her?
So how I imagine this, and obviously this is something that is portrayed so bad by the rules, but basically what I think is like I have this mallet, right? And how I imagine this is basically just using the grip to like surprise her, and she's an elderly woman, kind of go over her head and just like yank it back into her throat, and then just like pulling until she like Jabba the Hutt, just like right?
She would have been
Until
she was paralyzed.
She was paralyzed, right?
Because you probably
Until
broke
there's
her
a snap.
spine with your first attack. That's why she was paralyzed. Absolutely. She
Yeah.
stops, well, she doesn't quiver or flail at all, but after a good solid minute and a half, there's no way she's still alive.
Right.
So she is definitely dead.
Right.
You still have a movement if you want.
Yeah, a quick glance on the stones she was arranging.
Sure. They look fairly similar to stones that you haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen the stones from Kolya. I don't think you ever saw
Yeah,
them.
because we've been using them around him, so he has seen them.
Oh, right. They look
Yeah.
very similar to that.
Okay, the standard move I do, everything that seems interesting, bag.
All right.
And then with the movement, I guess, I don't know if you allow this as a free interaction. But if with the movement, I would then go up to the door and kind of take a breath and see what happens, because I assume this was fairly silent, especially with the now explosion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right, so you go over to the door. You don't hear anything except for that bell, which is frantically being clanged. It then does sound as if other doors are now opening and footfalls are starting to approach. Not everybody was at the
What
door.
I would want to do, here's my strategy right now. I would want the door to be open a little bit so I can kind of see through the slit.
Sure.
And I want to what I'm looking for is I want to see what these guys are wearing, like what their uniforms are, if they're the usual uniforms or different uniforms. Because I have alter self, I can turn myself into one of them. And now that there's like chaos going on, I don't want to fight through. I want to make this a little bit smarter. As long as there's chaos going on, I want to just like run with them. So I want to basically find how they're looking roughly, like what they're wearing, turn myself into someone of them, and then just like pass along.
Sure. Okay.
And
Not
if
a problem.
If they want to stop me, I mean, I have my passport right there.
Yeah. Adrasai.
Yes.
You're up.
Yes. When we're
Connor's standing in the doorway.
I'm gonna drop the fly, and I'm gonna cast the arcane eye instead, and I'm gonna sort of send it up ahead to make sure that that we don't run into anyone.
Okay. Where are you sending it to?
Well, Con mentioned we should like head down a
Sure.
level.
So you're looking for stairs. It can move at 30 feet around. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you send it off 30 foot ahead, and you can see stairs going down. There are several forms approaching the stairs at quite some speed. They look to be the military component of this ship. They are making
From below,
up.
coming up.
Correct. There are
Right.
3 of them.
I'm gonna put my hand on Con's shoulder. We got some people incoming. They're coming up the stairs down the corridor. 3 soldiers. You can wait until they pass.
Okay.
Sure, that's what you're saying. Next up is me. So that means I get to do this down here very, very quickly. Oh dear. There is now loud screaming coming from the front of the ship. It sounds like there's quite hectic battle going on. There's definitely something happening. Those 3 soldiers are rushing up the stairs. Con, you had opened the door, but you hadn't yet gone out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Sure. And they would have rushed past the door too if the last one hadn't happened to casually glance in and see 4 people standing with murderous intent.
Hi.
Just like an oh.
Oh, yes.
I have a sinking feeling.
Does the door open inward or outward?
Inward. Most ships' doors open inward, so you don't block the corridor. So yes, you they rushing past. They stop. They see you. The one right at the back. Who would be standing most in the front? I think that would have been you, Con, by virtue of the fact that you're.
Con, yeah.
All right. So he swings his sword at you, simply because he doesn't recognize you, doesn't know who you are, and the alarm bell has gone off, and his ship has suddenly blown up.
How rude.
It's a little unsettling. So to attack, he swipes at you and gets a natural 20 straight off the bat. There we go.
Fantastic.
So,
Good start.
To confirm that 20, I rolled a 6, so it's just double damage.
Oh, only.
Yeah, it's only double damage, but don't worry. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. So,
100 points of damage.
yeah, not so much. 9 points of damage as he slashes into you.
That was his double damage.
That was his double damage. He rolled pathetically badly. Very, very sad.
How do you get a 9 on double? That's an odd number. Oh, whatever.
Because I'm using Fantasy Grounds, so it rolls 2d8 instead of 1d8. Anyway,
I
it's
see.
fine. I'm going to go with that because the alternative is higher. So that's what you take, Con, as he slashes into you on his first attack. He then tries to hit you again on his second attack, and that's a 15 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, and this one does 4 points of damage. Apparently, you've got the weakling one. His job on the ship, he's actually the cartographer, and he usually wields a pen, which is why he's...
It is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, I should have used the pen.
He's basically just lying his sword on you, and gravity is causing it to do damage, really, rather than his actual swing. So that's what's happening there. Yes, Atra, you are listening in at the doorway. Those forms that pass you, they don't... well, let me just see. Let's just make a check quickly. Another natural 20. Okay. I like Fantasy Grounds, except that when other people are not here. So as they're walking past, there is a particularly large figure that is in amongst them, Atra. And by large, I mean he has to lower his head. He looks to be definitely not a barbarian, but certainly of barbarian size. He might be a Galanti, which are rumored to be half giants. Very, very strong, very powerful individuals. And they're busy rushing past. One of them notices the door to the oracle is open and grabs the door handle and rolls a natural 1. So he pulls the door shut and continues on down the corridor.
Oh, no.
Unless you stop him, of course.
No, but I saw him and them before, like
Correct.
running past. I am one of you now.
Terminator 2 type style. So that's
Yes,
what's happening there. Jorik.
Then I'll wait a second for him to get away and try to kind of...
Sure. Yep.
Well, is Con standing in the way, or can I get
No,
past
you
him?
can get past.
Stop scratching me!
Well, this young fellow who is gently tapping Con with his sword is going to get stabbed many times.
I am very sad for this poor cartographer.
Natural 20! That's a 36. Does he have 36 AC?
Natural 20
No,
always hits.
no, he doesn't.
Right, so what's this then? It's a 10.
So
I'll
double
confirm.
Dublo, right?
double.
Yes. So that's 23 first. And then we get lethal strike.
23.
That's going to be a lot. 108.
I'm dead.
Wow.
How does he die?
Jorik just flies past Con, shoves both of the Cyblades up in his chest, and then just charges his entire body with psionic energy, so his mind just melts.
All right.
So his eyes are just gonna explode in pink light, and he'll just fall to the ground.
You guys accuse me.
Like one of the sticks with the goa'uld, right? Just like
Yeah.
Cooked from the inside.
Cooked from the inside. That's not a happy camper there.
my favorite 90s metal band.
Yeah. The barbarians are involved in quite a heavy firefight.
They were so sure of themselves. I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine too. 1. Okay. All right. Oh, wait, wrong number. 1 is there. The barbarians seem to be making progress. Not sure. Finally, that brings us to Con.
Quick mechanics question. I would assume that something of large size would not be able to maneuver through the ship's corridors.
No, something of large size can maneuver through the ship's corridors. They're quite wide.
Oh, good.
And it also move through the doors.
Enter Bear Force 1.
No, it's getting a bit scarier than that, but I'm going to have to move out into the corridor. I'm still sort of focused on getting downstairs because that's where...
There are the 2 other soldiers still in the corridor.
Yeah, Jorik murders the first one, then steps up towards the other 2, and I'll deal with these. You go on.
As I enter the
Yes,
corridor...
We have to go past them to get to the.
Sure.
Didn't they run past and stop?
They did.
Was the last
They're
one
not,
saw
they're
us?
not, they're not
Sorry.
controlling the doorway, so you can step into the
Right.
corridor. Yeah.
I bet.
As I do so, clearing the immediate space around me, this is going to be very strange. And probably quite nightmarish for anyone I run into as I transform into a giant scorpion.
No.
Ah!
Ooh.
10 legs appear and this long tail.
I am so glad I have my back turned.
What color is your tip?
Red.
Red-tipped stinger. There we go. Something to be
I don't
worried
know.
about.
What decision did I just make?
I was just waiting for you to say pink, and I would have just.
All right, your transformation, that's a bonus action, or is that a full round action?
That's a bonus action.
All right.
I continue down
Specialty.
What are you doing?
continue down the corridor towards the stairs to the next step
Skitter down the stairs.
Sure. A cat.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
Oh, that's like my worst nightmare. No Sajetti wants to see that. No.
Fireball.
I hope Kufet
I've
shits
seen you do
himself.
it before. Fireball him.
I know it's con, so I'm not
For
going
your own good.
to.
I've seen you fireball Jonathan before.
It's an accident.
That's what you say. Sorry, it was lightning bolts. Completely
Yes.
different.
I guess in terms of looking out for particular individuals, I'm definitely on the. I'm headed for that cabin in any way because I know the command staff are going to be coming out of there at some point, if they've noticed. But yeah, so I'm aiming for command staff at this point.
Sure.
Okay, so you guys are dealing with the party. I think I'm going to head up deck. No.
Oh, sorry, I was just having text. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to head up and try and help the Marines with whatever they're doing. They may need some magical assistance.
I mean, they're heavily oiled, so if you throw fire their way, they're just like.
Slightly flammable. I will remember that with my
Deep
spell.
fried barbarian, yeah.
It's like marinated barbarian.
But at least it's olive oil, so it's healthy.
I mean, if you use lightning, it might just sort of go around them and just sort of itself.
All
There
right,
is
so
like a guard in front of me, though, isn't there? I mean, Jorg's going to deal with one of those guys, but I think
he's basically, he can lock down the corridor, so if you want to run up the stairs, that's
Okay.
the
That's
scorpion
fine. I
has
will
just
run
gone
up the
down the stairs.
stairs.
You are welcome to do so. You get to the top
Okay.
of the stairs. You can see that there is the helmsman. Traditionally, there are two for a ship of this size, but because the ship is at anchor, there is only one helmsman. He is frantically ringing the bell. The front of the ship appears to be on fire, and you can see the barbarians have engaged in full-on combat with several Marines on the base of the deck, of the upper deck. 3 barbarians have already fallen to these apparently very well-trained Marines on the ship. The helmsman is there. He's not alone. There are 2 crossbowmen who are busy reloading and preparing to fire at the barbarians.
Right.
For reasons known only to them, they did not notice you coming up the stairs behind them. So there are 2
Awesome.
archers as well as the helmsman.
Do I get a chance to
You can,
cast?
yes, you can take an action.
Okay, I will be casting Scorching Ray at those 3 targets. I need to make a spell winner. Yeah,
What?
the
It's just they
first
didn't notice.
one is 18.
To
The
hit?
second one
Yep.
is
Does this count as a stealth attack
15.
advantage?
If they didn't notice
Ooh,
it, then it would, you would
15,
have
and then the
advantage.
last one is 21.
Doesn't matter. She hits anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
They can crit, so
Yeah.
And they all take 2d6 damage, so let's just sort that out as well. Not great on the damage front. We'll go with it. So the first one takes 9 damage.
Right.
Second one takes 6 damage. And the last one takes 12 damage. Awesome.
The helmsman who took the 12 damage screams out in pain and shouts, "They're behind us!" And the crossbowmen who took some damage both swing around and point at you. Back to top of the round. Atra the invisible, well, Atra the uniformed individual. What are you doing?
the mutable. Yeah, I slithered in earlier, now I slither out.
Yep. And you're in the corridor. It's mid-deck.
So I tried to remember the rough sketch that we saw earlier
Sure.
and kind of get my gauge and try to move into a direction where I would assume the rest of the crew, the officers would be.
Sure. Definitely that's going to be where the party was going down. As you are heading...
So that's the officers' mess. I thought that those were just the barracks, basically.
Well, that's where all of the talking and shouting and...
Right, that's where Jono is going, right?
Correct.
That's not where I want to go. I want to go more to the officers, right?
The actual officers themselves?
Well, I want to head in their direction. I mean, this is like a big ship, so it's not just like, oh, one door here and one door there. It's just like, okay, that's next.
All right, so you're going to head upwards.
Yeah, I guess I head above deck to see what's happening there, but I'm not just like running out. I'll just actually take a second and take a look-sees before I go, right?
So that massive hulking beast of an individual who walked past you, he has exited now onto the deck, and when you look out, you can see the barbarians engaged in melee combat with several of the Marines. This detachment obviously was joining into that fight. So there are now 17 barbarians versus 10 Marines, and then this hulking giant who, as he's moving forward, he pulls from his back this very large maul, which he then starts swinging with one hand as if it was basically a stick. And he starts moving into melee with the barbarians.
Okay. Taking a look into the other directions, like up in the rafters and whatnot,
Sure.
I'm more like, I'm not worried about the brawn. The brawn is like, whatever. What I'm worried about is the 10 people that I know of that are somewhat of the magical spellcastery kind of persuasion.
Yeah.
And if I get close to them and surprise them, maybe because they didn't expect me to be on the enemy or whatnot, that's more of my goal. That's what I'm waiting for,
All
basically.
Right. So,
or something else, like my teammates kind of needing help. I know where the captain is. But generally speaking, I'm looking for high-value targets, right? Like I'm looking for the wizards, the priests, the whatevers.
Sure. Absolutely. You've got your eye out. You start to move around. No one really pays you too much attention because you're in uniform.
So, yeah, mechanically, I would then basically take a stealth check, I guess, to see if I like just like stay out of sight-ish.
Yep.
Okay. 21.
Yep. No one seems to pay any attention to you. You don't look particularly threatening. You're in the right uniform. So they're busy charging around you, desperate to try and figure out why and what put their ship on fire. That is you, Adrasai.
Yes. Jorik is now alone with 2 soldiers, right?
Correct.
I just quickly go, can you handle that?
I'm good.
Stab.
And I turn and rush after Con. I trying to keep my eye sort of moving ahead of him. That'd
Sure.
be my action, I suppose, moving the eye ahead of Con, sort of scouting and trying to figure out what he's about to meet.
Right, you are. As you are sending your eye forward, is it invisible?
Yes.
Sure. As you're sending it forward, you can see that 3 individuals have gathered together. One of them looks to be a particularly well-armed elf, and the other 2 are wearing nightgowns. One is a fairly frail-looking youngster, maybe 22 years of age, definitely human, but very gangly. Ginger hair. The other is a middle-aged woman who has her hair up in a very tight bun, and they are talking very earnestly between the 3 of them.
Right. Sort of hiss loud enough, hopefully, for Con to hear me over the skittering, and go, 3 people ahead, possibly mages. And then I'm going to try to sort of keep behind him, but sort of I can see, because I've got counter spells. I'm sort of ready to help.
Counter. All right, that's what you're doing. Not a problem.
Adrasai just goes, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Denied. That's Adrasai. Then it's me. So the barbarians launch their attack. They're not doing very well, these poor old barbarians. Well, they did do better this time. Right. And oh, okay, they didn't do too badly at all. They're dishing out far more damage than they are taking. That is going on. That is going on over there, and that is happening down there. So the 3 figures don't seem to notice anybody approaching. Jorik, you are facing against those 2 guards. So oh wow. Okay, well, the first guard rushes towards you screaming and makes an attack. He gets an armor class of 15.
Nope.
He swings a second time, bringing his blade in low, and gets a not natural 20.
How is it if you hit the same number? Does it hit then?
What?
Or does he have to get more than my AC?
He has to get your AC or above.
AC or above. Okay. In that case, I'm going to use my reaction and gain 7 more AC. So I have 27.
Sure. He misses twice. He is suitably embarrassed. His captain, who was leading him, steps forward. This one looks to be a little bit more dangerous than the than the other 2 idiots. He doesn't attack just sort of blindly as the first one did. He steps forward, he looks at you quite quickly, and then he lunges forward with this blade, which as he strikes at you, it grows in length, going from a longsword to a great sword.
Oh, dear.
He hits an armor class of 27.
Oh!
God damn it!
Wow!
It is almost his maximum that he can hit without getting a natural 20. So,
Damn!
yeah.
He hits me.
He hits
I have 27.
and you take 16 points of damage as this blade just elongates into you and then pulls back again.
Was not expecting that.
Spins his blade around again, and he strikes a second time. This time he only gets an armor class of a dirty 20.
Nope.
All right. That's his actions. It is now your turn. What are you doing?
Well, the fellow with the long sword, or the great sword, the long great sword, seems to be the danger here. So I'm going to fly at him and stab him.
Sure. Make attack.
Yes. Just have to add my modifiers. There we go. I hit an armor class of 31.
That's a hit. 2 damage. As you
I would've
slam
knocked
into him. Sorry, Simon? No. As you slam into him, you see that what looked to be a normal uniform ripples with this very blue energy, and you manage to break through that. However, what was your damage?
My damage is 76.
76. Okay. Do you have any more attacks?
No, my bonus action is the big damage.
Oh, I see. All right. He grunts under your assault and then smiles at you as he tightens his grip. And so that's what's going on there. Then, are you done?
I am done.
All right.
I'm gonna stay in melee with both of these, so they can't run away or do anything to my friends.
Sure. They have you garroted and destroyed their best friend. They're not leaving you until they are quite suitably done. The barbarian battle rages on. They do a good shot there, but not such a good return, I'm afraid. So that's only 1 on this side. And ouch. Okay. That then takes us to Con. You can see the 3 figures at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah. The youth, the middle-aged woman, and then the soldier.
Right. Well, I carry on barreling down at them at full speed.
What in the name of the gods is that? Says the soldier. Whom are you attacking, oh giant spinneret, pincer wielding? Yeah, he has 2 unmarried women in his hands, which he sort of flails around wildly.
Arachnid. He is a type of arachnid.
Yes.
So I'm going to take the soldier first.
Sure.
Which is 3 attacks.
Snap.
So first claw attack is 23.
That's a hit.
Second claw attack is 20.
That's a hit.
And the stinger comes flying in for 17.
That's still a hit.
Cool.
You've no seam in your load.
So claw damage, and also if I hit with the claw attack, he becomes grappled.
I suspect he becomes a lot more than just grappled.
So that is 13 for, plus 2, so that's
15.
17. It's plus 4, plus 2 per. So 17 for the claw attacks, and Shiza. This is 9. 21. 12, 21, 30 damage from the stinger poison. Oh, wait, no, he does get to make a constitution save against that.
Oh, how nice. His constitution saving throw is 15.
He passes, so he takes 15 poison damage.
Okay, that's not great, but it's better.
And he's grappled.
And he's
I'm so glad I have fantasy grounds because I was not keen on rolling 14d10 for my damage.
Right. Exactly. All right, so your stinger buries itself in his chest, and he cries out in absolute pain as it does. Saket, what are you doing?
So I'm kind of the helmsman and the crossbowman are kind of all in a nice little line.
They're not, unfortunately. The helmsman is to your right, and the 2 archers are to your left.
Are they within 5 foot of each other?
No, the 2 archers are. The helmsman isn't.
That's okay. I can do something with that.
Are we getting a
okay.
Saket favorite?
Oh, I just haven't used some of my abilities yet, and I think I really ought to on this particular battle. So I'll use some of my meta magic and use Twin Spell along with the Witch's Bolt. I'm gonna cast it as a slightly higher spell. I'm gonna go for a level 4 spell instead of a level 1 spell, just to increase my damage. So I need to make a ranged spell attack, I guess, twice if I'm twinning it.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to aim for the helmsman and the nearest crossbowman.
Gotcha. 4 helmsmen.
And
Marvelous.
for an unnatural 20.
That's a hit.
It's a twit, a hit, a twit and a hit. And the second one, plus 4 is 22.
Nice.
Both hit.
Okay, and let's just see if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 d12s. Oh, God, blimey. Sorry. Yeah,
Can
totally.
I roll 4d12 for you?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, wow. Someone actually gets to use the D12, the poor forgotten dice.
Hey, 200 X's do that all the time.
4d12, 24.
24 damage to the poor helmsman.
Yeah, and then another 4d12.
How does the helmsman die?
The other one is
Okay.
29.
Nice.
29. Sure. Why not? He screams out in pain as your magic slams into him. What's the color of your magic? You just remind me.
Oh. I don't know.
How do you see it? What color do you see it as being?
I see it as purple, personally.
All right. This purple blast slams into the helmsman. How does he die?
They are both going to take lightning damage.
Sure.
So I guess a lot of going on.
All right. He blows all
Smoke
over the
coming
place.
from the eyes and
Yeah.
ears.
Oh,
And he drops
you're
Shocking.
being boiled right now.
the archer does not drop. He is still standing. And that takes us right back to Atra. You have gone seeking out potential sources of magic user, and you happen to stumble across 2 individuals that look like mages. They are currently backing away from a giant scorpion that is busy eating the face off of a rather unfortunate soldier. You think they're mages because their hands are lighting up. One is lighting up with very, very black energy, and the other one is lighting up with very, very orange energy.
All right, I need to help my crewman against the scorpion.
Obviously.
Oh, whoops! Sorry!
Did
You're
I
new.
decapitate you? My bad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, I don't know, like, geographically or situationally where I am right now, if I can get to them or not.
Yes, you can. No, you went down a set of stairs on the opposite side of the ship, and then you were walking along corridors. So the way I see it is that the ship has basically got a U-shape corridor at the back. You came down the stairs on the one end. You walk down the corridor. They're at the long end of the base of the U, if you like, and the scorpion came down the other arm of the U.
Okay.
They're between us.
Yeah.
They're in the middle. You guys came from both sides.
Unlucky.
A pincer
Flanking.
movement, if you will.
A
And pincer.
pincer movement.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which one are you attacking?
Yeah.
Both of them? All of them! They all die.
The one, let's start with the orange flamey handy boy.
Sure.
Is that the
Alright.
woman or the elf?
It's the
I
young
don't-
boy.
Oh,
I am a same
Alright.
opportunist murderer, so I don't care which one.
Opportunist? Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah, I will try to help these people to not get killed by the scorpion.
Good.
You said you're going to kill them.
equal-
So you're going to kill them yourself, yes.
Death by Atra is potentially less painful since it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have advantage on the attack or not? Because they may.
Yes, you
might-
do.
Okay,
Absolutely.
and the first attack is a crit right away.
Someone has a phone call coming in.
Yeah, that's me.
Is a crit straight away? Make your attack.
Oh yeah, that's a crit. So the confirmation thingy
Yeah.
is a 5. So that's
Normal
normal
damage. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 26 points.
He screams out in pain, not only from the fact that he's been hit, but also by an ally.
Well, please, before he screams out,
Oh, God.
Constitution saving throw, because I can do that shit too.
14?
Yeah, no. And then the next attack gets advantage as well, and is an automatic because he's now paralyzed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 25, so but it's still an automatic crit. 13.
That's
so
what,
that's
3 times.
All right, so that's an excess of 50 damage. I don't know. Like, you want
He dies.
Okay.
He can't take that much in one round.
All right. Third attack.
Against the grappled guard or against the woman with black magic?
Black magic woman.
Sure.
It's a black magic woman.
All right. I attack her for a 19 against AC.
That hits her.
Okay. Well, usual things. Constitution saving throw, please, and take 26 points.
Constitution saving throw of 19.
That is indeed a save.
Okay, how much damage, sorry?
26.
26.
Yep. And I try to position myself very eagerly, ignoring her personal space.
All right, you ignore her personal space and make her very unhappy and uncomfortable as you position yourself there. Adversai?
Well, seeing and certain mysterious soldier started slaughtering them from the other side.
With a familiar maul, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and like I can guess who that is. I think.
Well,
It's
the fact
sound
that
of forgiveness, screams and then silence.
Yeah, much. I think I'm just going to basically just rush back up the stairs to where Jorik is, because I think they have it well in hand.
You guys are fine.
I don't need help Con when Atra is there. Probably didn't need to help Con in the first place anyway, but you know, mages, you never know. So I'm going to rush back up. Within my movement, can I get into range of to see him fighting and everything?
Absolutely, not a problem.
I'm just going to cast Ray of Frost on the captain. Individual.
Yep.
Which is, oh goodness, ranged spell attack.
Yes.
16 plus, I think,
9, right?
That's
8.
it.
Yes, and then it's 2d8 damage.
Sure.
12.
12 puts him on that. He is not happy. Not happy.
Am I getting any bonuses, by the way, for using the dancing stone as a focus when I cast?
Are you using the dancing stone?
Yeah, I haven't for a while.
Sure. I will adjust accordingly. Yeah, it does certainly seem to enhance your magic.
Good.
You're not entirely sure how yet. You haven't spent too much time looking into that.
No,
Okay, that's what happens there. It's my turn now. I've got enemies all over the place, and I'm just going to work through these attacks. So the champion that is facing against Yorick and now also Adversai, he swings twice for you. He seems quite unhappy about this little incident that's taking place on his ship. His first attack is a dirty 20.
Nope.
How long is your armor class at 27 for? Just so that I know.
2 turns. It's the turn I cast the reaction and then the entire turn afterwards.
Okay. His second attack is a 14, so he misses on both of them. He then closes his eyes and this yellow energy washes over him, and the wounds that you have dealt him
Counterspell.
to lessen. It's unfortunately not a spell.
Okay. Then I can't.
So that's
Counterspell.
Counterspell! Counterspell! Counterspell.
Counterspell.
All right, that's your counterspell. Well, that's certainly what he did. His companion, who is standing nearby, the companion tries to. Well, the companion's about to hit you. Then he sees that Adressai is standing there, so he's going to turn and attack Adressai. Adressai, he hits an armor class of 24.
I'm not like right there, am I?
He can move up to you.
Oh, but then he
Yeah,
has to
don't
move
I get
up.
an attack of opportunity then?
Sure.
Right. Give me a second.
Quite happy to leave his boss to fight you whilst he goes. Right.
I hit 22.
Lesser. That's a hit. Do your damage.
And since this is not my turn, I can't blast him, so he takes 25 points of damage.
All right. 25 points of damage. He then deals to you, Adressai, because I believe 24 hits.
Yes.
You take 10 points of damage on his first attack.
All right.
His second attack hits armor class of 16.
That is my armor class.
Hmm.
So I think that hits.
Yep, another 6 points of damage. So 16 points of damage in total as he just slashes into you,
All right.
trying to vent his rage and frustration at having watched his friend be liquefied in front of him by this psychopath wielding pink blades. That's what's happening there. There are two archers that discharge their bolts at you, Saket. The first one takes an attack and fires off their bolts for a completely wild miss. It sails off into the distance, but can make a second attack.
Hits a random merfolk out there.
Yeah.
Oi!
Somewhere out there. It hits an armor class of 15. What's your armor class, Saket?
Well, that's a hit because I still have a really crappy armor class of 11.
Okay. You take.
But that's okay
I
because
think you have 14 right
cloak.
now, right? Jenny cast Mage Armor on you.
Oh yeah, 14. But it's still a hit.
15 still a hit, but at least you now know that for the future. You take a grand total of 9 points of damage.
Great. The cloak will take most of that.
That's
Okay.
from the first archer. The second archer, who is still standing, he also will make his first attack against you. Armor class of 17, so that's a hit. For that is 20 points of damage.
Ow!
Ow, oh bugger. I'm gonna get squishy again in a minute.
That's his first attack. His second attack hits an armor class of 14, which we know is your exact armor class. You need to get a better armor class. Because that's
Mages
another
don't have better
11.
armor.
I beg your pardon?
Mages don't have better armor class.
Yes.
No.
Is this a
That's
spell?
11.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the cloak.
40
done.
damage in total this round.
Ow.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's fine.
So that's what's happening down there. Con, you currently have one of these poor soldiers wrapped up in your pincers. And yes, he is just going to try and hit you, as a matter of fact. He has a sword in his hands. He doesn't know how to get free of your pincers. So he's just going to strike
He's
out.
permitted to make an escape roll if he so chooses. There is a DC for it. But
Yeah,
an
no.
action.
He's being held, and so he's just going to try and attack you. Armor class of 11? Didn't think so. He swings again.
No, it's an armored bug.
It is. So the
Oh,
first
yeah,
time
right.
he doesn't even connect. The second time he hits an armor class of 18, however. That is a hit.
I'll do it.
All right. For 4 points of damage as he sort of bounces his blade off of your carapace and sort of
Winter
grunts in
blade.
frustration.
Dislodges something that was there and you feel much better.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Well, that's what this individual is going to do. The one with dark energy disengages by stepping 5 feet away from you, Atramentum, and then just releases this spell. It washes
so
out.
she disengages.
Yeah, she that's an action, right? So she doesn't disengage. She's just standing in front of you. She's going to release this spell. She doesn't have a choice. She's going to die anyway. But yes, she releases this magical energy.
Do I know what it is?
You can give me an Arcana check. I think.
Counter spell. from up the corridor.
Count us out.
Count us out!
15.
One day. Sorry?
15.
15. Can you cast level 6 spells?
I mean, my added level would be able to, but
Would
I
be able
cannot
to?
cast-
Sure. She's casting
But I myself, wait. I myself do not have 6th level spells because of my class thingy. I
That's
don't
okay.
have-
But you could have or would have. See, she is casting Circle of Death. It's a gigantic sphere of black energy that washes out down the corridor. I will need you and Con to please give me Constitution saving throws.
So she's going to kill her own dude as well.
23.
23 is a pass. You take half damage.
15.
15 is, give me a second here. Unfortunately, not high enough. You can take damage. That poor idiot fails as well, so he's dead. Dead. Okie doke, so where'd it go? Where'd it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good-unk. So 13 damage to you, Atra, and 26 damage to you, Con.
I still on a bike.
Opicon.
You're still alive.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's a bug. Did you ever try to kill a cockroach?
He's a giant scorpion, to be fair.
Yes. She screams in frustration as her magic fails to drop you. And immediately she raises her hands in surrender.
Oh,
Yeah, too late.
now she tries.
Now
That's too late.
That was the wrong ordering of action here.
Yes.
Jorik?
If you cast a spell that's called Death, then
It was self-defense.
yeah, I'm gonna.
I merely murdered in self-defense.
Jorik, what are you doing?
I'm going to carve this captain a new hole somewhere.
New blowhole.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Make your attack.
Yes, I hit for 25.
That's a hit. Do damage.
That was also 25. 25 damage.
Sure.
How is he doing?
He's bleeding.
He's not dead.
No.
All right. In that case, he gets another jolt for 50.
50.
Yes, so 75 total.
Sure. I will add the 50. Yep.
And that's my actions.
He grits his teeth. Blood is pouring out of his ears and out of his eye sockets, but he is still standing somehow. At least...
This dude, he needs a medal. He's taking like what, 200 damage?
I know. 54. Yeah. All right. So that's Jorik. We then move down the line to the barbarians. The barbarians are not looking good. Oh dear. Nope.
Well, at least they have dental, right?
Yeah, because that's gonna be great help right now.
They made sure of that.
Okay. That's the barbarians. Then Con.
I presume the soldier in my claws is dead.
Yes, you are holding a desiccated, withered corpse.
I hit the spellcaster with it.
Make your attack.
No, I'm just that was just a visual joke. No, my assumption is that Atra has this woman in hand.
I mean, you don't know that it's me. I am undercover.
I recognize your weapon.
I recognize Atra's form of attack. Someone suddenly stiffens, stops moving completely, and then just dies.
Floats all over me in a spray of red mist.
Yeah.
That's a very familiar
Would
weapon.
you say it's a dead giveaway?
Oh God.
I'm going to head for the deck.
Sure, you're going to go scurrying up onto the deck.
Turn around.
Yeah, still holding the corpse.
So it's not like this, it's more like this.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to head up onto the deck. Absolutely. That takes you 2 movements to get. What's your movement speed? 30 still.
40.
40. All right, at the end of your 40, you emerge out onto the deck. You can see the barbarians have been decimated, and there is a reason for that. They have certainly destroyed a lot of guards around them. You can see the uniform has been mangled, but there are 3 mages who have positioned themselves behind the barbarians, and they just seem to be throwing magic into the barbarian ranks. Then there is that particularly large monster that Atra saw. He is sort of going toe-to-toe with Biora at the moment, and he sort of smacks her across the face, and then she smacks him back across the chest. But you can see that this is not a fight that she looks like she's going to win.
Unless they just start kissing. It's just like punch, punch. It's basically foreplay to her, right?
Saket, what you doing?
Right. Okay. So I've got 2 bowmen.
You
standing
have
through-
one still tethered, right? If you want. Use Witch Bolt.
Switch bolt.
No. You use Witch Bolt? Anyway, what are you doing?
I don't follow.
What do I? Okay, so I'm going to use burning hands on the 2 remaining crossbowmen.
Sure.
They need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw for the first archer is 7. For the second archer is 22.
He gets
okay.
half damage. I'm also going to cast this as a level 3 spell.
Sure.
So
Damage.
plus 14 plus. Oh, that's quite nice. That would be a 9. Oh god, I can't do maths anymore. 14, 21, 27 damage
27 damage. How does archer number 1 die?
in a nice flaming. Oh.
All right. He keels over inflamed. The other one stands defiant, looking at you with murderous intent. Atra.
Yeah. 23.
Yeah, that's it.
29 damage.
Yes. Blood sprays out of the side of her mouth as you smack her to the
Constitution
right.
saving throw.
Oh, God. Constitution saving throw, one of her good ones. She gets 19.
Yep. Second attack. 22.
That's a hit.
27 damage.
How does she die?
Yes.
Horribly.
It's mangled.
You don't cast spells called death shit.
Oh!
At me. And I give,
Yeah, quite enough of that.
no. You had your chance, Missy.
All right, she's misted at...
Yeah, so.
Yes. So once you finish doing that...
Yeah. I mean, the scorpion already pieced out.
Yep.
So, kind of have a guess that that's probably con. Probably con. So here's the question then, because I don't know exactly how the situation is here. What's with Jorik and Adrosai? Can I see them? Can I hear them? Can I feel them?
You can hear battle going on above you. They are 1 level above you.
Okay. And then the other question is like, can I hear, see, feel, anticipate the battle outside?
Yes, very much so. There's lots of screaming and shouting.
Because if there's magic getting flung around,
There is magic.
That is a little bit more bombastic.
Yep.
So I would be then kind of unexpectedly, as one of the crewmen, head back on deck to help my fellow mateys.
Fellow humans.
Hello, fellow seamen.
Okay, that's what you're doing.
And then, assumingly, if I get to the end of the...
you'll be able to get out onto deck in this round.
Kind of taking the situation and kind of, eeny, miny, mo, mate, you have to go. And
Sure. You do that. That's not a problem. You won't get over them this round, but yes.
I will now use, however, my bonus action and hex him. Hex.
All right, so I'm going to give you a description based on the magic that they're using. One appears to be using this very dark purple magic. One appears to be using a light green magic. And the third one appears to be using a rose-colored magic.
Sounds like Mass Effect 3 endings to me. Like, is there any kind of difference in what they're actually doing, or is it just different colors?
It is different colors. The one that has rose-colored magic appears to be controlling one of the barbarians. So these pink tendrils going into the barbarian's brain, and the barbarian is now attacking another barbarian. The one with light green magic is currently, I'll tell you now what they're doing, is currently laughing because there is a rather confused-looking hamster running around where there should be a barbarian.
Okay.
And that's glowing with green energy. And then the one with dark purple energy appears to just be blasting barbarians into little pieces.
Okay. Well, he has a problem in the next round.
All right. That's what you're doing. Adrasai.
Yes. They get slashed by this soldier, the mage armor breaking, and they get a slash, and they sort of stagger back and go, "Congratulations! You're going to be the first one to see this!" And then I got to cast Bigby's hand.
All right, you cast Bigby's hand. He's making an attack.
This massive, clawed, blue, shimmering, spectral hand appears like between them in the corridor, and then I'm going to use Grasping Hand, and I'm going to attempt to grapple him. And I get advantage because the target is medium or smaller, I assume.
Yep, he is indeed.
And then I use my hand strength, which is +8.
Sure.
So that is 19.
Versus his puny little athletics check of 18. You grab him.
Ooh. And then I'm going to use a bonus action to crush him.
Absolutely.
And takes bludgeoning damage equal to 2d6 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 9. Thank you, Jory. That is 14 damage.
14 damage. He screams out in pain as you feel the satisfactory vibration response from the Bigby's controller as it crushes his ribs. He's still alive, but barely.
He ain't gonna be soon.
You doing anything else?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Oh, good. You good?
I'm good.
You good? All right, the veteran that is busy fighting you, Jorik, is leaking blood from everywhere, but he is not giving up. He hisses at you, "You will not take my ship." And then he swings at you wildly. His first attack hits an armor class of 24.
That's a hit.
A grand total of 13 points of damage.
Okay.
Second attack hits an armor class of 14. That's
No. That's a miss.
That is a complete miss. Absolutely. There is not much else that he can do. He does, however, by the looks of things, there's this amulet that's around his neck. And he looks down and it pulses red for a moment. And he seems to be a little bit better.
Just die already.
That's what he's saying to you, just die already. The grappled veteran, I wonder, grasping hand, use the hand strength, it is grappled. Okay, he's just going to try and get out of your hands grapple. That's all that he can do for this round.
Yep.
So give me an opposed check, if you please.
All right.
You got to beat a 9.
Well, he almost automatically beats a 9 with
I
the
think,
bonus.
yes, you
I
get
think
plus.
well.
Oh, whoa.
Very well, but I get 12.
All right.
I mean, he has plus 8, so
Yeah. That's why I mean, like 9 is like you roll a 1.
yeah.
Yeah, he's squirming. He's just not cutting it. He just can't do it. Can't.
Very good. I'm launching it at next week's order fair.
Right, so that's what's happening there. There is an archer who has an arrow, or a bolt, I should say, with Saket's name on it. First attack at you is an armor class of 10, so that's a complete miss. Second attack is a 12. I think that's still a miss.
That's a miss.
Yeah, the mage, it just sort of glides off the mage arm.
Miss. The fact that he's on fire possibly is why he missed. I would imagine that's a pretty good reason for missing there. Con, you haven't engaged with anyone yet, and neither have you, Atra, so there is no one attacking either of you. The barbarians get to make their attacks.
No, we see it.
Ooh, nice. So the barbarians actually deal quite a lot of damage to the... Oh, no, they don't. Not really.
No.
How much of the
drop-
Beach Boys are left?
I beg your pardon?
How much of the Beach Boys are left?
There are 8 barbarians left, including Biora, and they've
wow.
dropped another 2 of the Marines. There are very few Marines left. It's just that big hulking giant now who's busy fighting against her, and then the 3 mages who will now blast with a great vengeance into the barbarians.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there is the unfortunate consequence that another barbarian drops and dies.
Okay. So from now seeing what they cast, would I say they are strong mages? Or are they normal Citadel mages that finished their 201s?
2 of them look like Citadel mages. The one with the dark purple energy certainly seems to know what he's doing.
Okay.
Yeah, seems to be dealing out quite a lot of damage.
Let's visit him next round.
Yorick, you have an opportunity to prove yourself the better of this battle.
Yeah, this dude is going to get stabbed again.
Stabby, stabby.
Stabby, stabby, indeed.
Here comes.
Natural 20.
All right, do your damage.
17.
17 damage.
Really?
No, 17 on the confirm.
Okay, that's quadruple damage.
Oh my god. All right. 1, 2,
Lots.
3, 4.
Gonna
Good
be
done.
the
Good
jam.
done, goof boy.
Jesus, this is going to hurt. 90 psychic damage. Holy crap.
He dies. How does he die?
Very, very
Just lop
quick.
his head off.
Ow. All right, yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
And I do have a movement and a bonus action left, so I'm going to turn around. As soon as I just slice the head off this annoying asshole, I turn around and immediately stab the other guy with my offhand.
The one
We
that's
tried to
grappled by...
fend off the pirates that are
Nice.
trying to.
All right, the guy's grappled. Does that give me any advantage or something?
Nope.
Or is it just stab?
Can't move. He just can't move.
Yeah.
Just stab. All right. I hit 19,
That's a hit.
and I do 12 points of damage.
12.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't sound so disappointed. It was my offhand.
I'm disappointed.
I am disappointed too. I have to say, I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's what you do. You melee into this poor man, as one does. Con.
See now, I use my. Stop me if I'm exceeding the mechanics here, but I will use one of my pincer attacks to throw the corpse at the legs of the giant warrior.
Sure.
Then scuttle up behind him and use my remaining pincer and stinger attack on him.
Sure, I don't have a problem with that. Make your ranged attack.
Right. Don't let me down.
Ranged attack with a
Improvised range.
That is going to be 19.
19 hits.
I'm just
How
aiming
much
it at
damage
his
does
legs.
this corpse do?
Yeah, I throw the corpse at his leg.
Damage of a corpse, I would say, is probably 1d8.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about damage
It's a
than...
long sword.
Yeah, I'm taking into account weight. Oh, but he's desiccated. Yeah, 1d6. 1d6.
Yeah. So,
He is being thrown by a giant scorpion.
Yeah,
it's
but he's
more-
desiccated. He's basically dust.
Velocity.
That's why he has the
Next.
strength modifier.
They are. Okey-dokes.
yeah, obviously I'm less concerned about causing damage with the corpse than trying to tangle his legs up a bit with it. Chuck it at his legs.
Yep.
It's like a
Okie-dokie.
bowler, corpse bowler.
Yeah.
And then I go scurrying up to make my final 2 attacks.
Pinch him.
The corpse wraps around the individual. He steps back. Unfortunately, instead of it tripping it up, he just snaps it in half.
Hmm.
He seems to be quite strong.
It worked so well against the 8080s.
All right, make your claw attack.
To be fair, that wasn't a corpse, though. Like, they didn't
16 for the
16 is a hit.
attack. Which I don't know what size he is, but
He is large.
He's
so I
a big
probably
boy.
can't grapple him.
No.
And then the stinger. Well, that's a cock die.
Is your damage magical?
Yes, actually it is.
Nice.
Yes. No, it actually isn't.
The stinger is- I might miss with the stinger. It's 14.
14 is a hit.
Oh,
It's a big boy, big target.
I suppose he is a big target. Yes, okay. The claw damage is 7. And
He gets a con save, right?
yeah, he gets
Yeah,
a con
obviously.
save.
Con save.
He needs to save himself from con.
27 is the damage full.
Total. Okay. You, as you bury your stinger into him, you realize that his body, it looks like it's made out of flesh, but you're not accustomed to being a giant scorpion. It feels more like you have just stabbed into a brick wall. Really, really tough, and your poison just sort of sprays against the back of the wound that you've inflicted, and it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
That's what you see.
Fantastic.
Saket, the inflamed.
Yeah, I kind of look at the remaining.
The archer is busy
Archer.
reloading his bolts.
Okay, I'm really fed up with this. I'm going to cast lightning bolt at him.
Sure.
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
His dexterity saving throw is 13.
I think that's a
Pretty
save.
much that's not enough.
Yeah.
That is not enough. If you're close to me, you have 16 or 17. So
I admit that I have not been bringing up my my stats on some things. You're probably right. I think in that case, it's
Full damage.
Full damage.
you have 20 charisma, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Roll your damage. It doesn't.
Okay, rolling
No.
damage. So hang on, that's
Question, Guy. The hand that's grappling someone. Can I move this hand with it because it sort of floats along? Can I move it with him? It doesn't say anything about it. Like if it can move with the grappled person or not.
oops.
I'm just looking at it now. You got your total damage for me, Saket?
Just give me a second. My brain is slow. It's a horrible side effect of a lot of things, right? So that's 14 plus 15.
I believe you can move
Which
it.
makes it 29.
29 points of damage into the poor archer. 29. He is blasted into smithereens as your lightning bolt crashes into his chest, and he falls dead at your feet.
Good. Right. What else can I see on deck?
You sort of step through. There's the giant brute, and then there are 3 mages at the far end of the ship. You can see a scorpion is engaged with a giant brute, and there are some other figures. It looks like there is a soldier walking towards the scorpion and the 3 mages.
Right.
It's like back
There's
to the top of
also
the
a
ground.
soldier moving. There's also a soldier moving to the dark mage.
Correct. Atra, you're up.
Yeah, I will continue moving towards the dark mage.
You get to the dark mage.
I can
Okay.
get through
Hi.
this.
It's me, the boy. Is he expecting me to attack him?
Nope.
Oh, too bad.
Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. Smash!
I call this one the hammer. 19 to hit.
To the hammer.
Stop.
19 to
Hammer time.
is a hit.
Okay. Please give me a Constitution saving throw.
You love the Constitution saving throw. His Constitution saving throw is 3.
Oh, that's bad. He's paralyzed.
Ah!
He takes 24 damage.
Paralyzed, but not down.
Second attack.
No.
Now he's down.
Now he does.
Yet.
I crit automatically now that he's paralyzed.
Correct.
I will try to confirm on the crit. I roll a natural 20 on the crit. That's 5 times.
That is pen triple damage. Correct.
Oh.
Do you want me to add all these dice up?
It's lots of damage. I think you can do more than his outstanding amount.
Yeah,
So
the
how does he
one
die?
time is 26 right now.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
Fist.
Just a point of clarification. Your weapon is a magical attack?
Oh, yes.
Gotcha. He dies. How does he die?
I just go up to him, and as the weapon actually just brushes. Okay, for everybody who is looking right now, I guess that would only be probably Saket, since she is like looking from an vantage point. It looks like I'm trying to hit him, but where he moves away with some sort of magic, like a mirage, kind of as he's trying to get out of way. Maybe a little bit like in Pitch Black. Like no, not in Pitch Black. In the other one where the yeah, exactly how he's moving, but he still gets grazed by the maul, and as his eyes kind of widen in the horror as the effect of the weapon takes place, and the mirage gets sucked into the weapon, and the body just limply falls to the ground.
Wow. Okay. That is.
Okay. Do I have more movement to reach
yes,
one of the other boys?
Yes, you can. You can reach the one with the light green energy.
Yep, that's my friend. I will move up to him. I have one more attack.
Sure.
So, that's another crit.
Love.
Even without advantage, because I mean, at this point, the jig
Sure.
is up. So that's just a crit. It's a 19.
Yeah, 4 times the damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be so. Okay, so that's 31 plus. I love to not need to
Work
so
it
4
out.
times. So that's another 2. So that's so 30 plus 31. So I'll give you the total.
Sure.
That's 49 points, and please give me a Constitution saving throw.
He doesn't need to. He's dead. 49 points of damage in 1 attack. Yeah, he's just a little mage who was brought along to potentially fix the ship. He's not a combatant. So he drops like a stone.
All right.
Adversary,
Yes.
hand with me.
Go! I'm gonna turn to Jorik and go, I think they got it upstairs. Do you want to go down, sweep a bit?
Sure, just let me deal with this fellow first.
No, he's fine. I got him. I sort of turn and
Are
are
you going to question him? Otherwise, let me kill him, please.
I do the crush again.
No, don't kill me, please. I have a
Pet hamster.
I don't have a lot of hit points left.
I have a wife and children. I don't even know why you're here. Just don't kill me.
Not anymore. That is
So much for people who give up. I murder him, she murders them.
not at this point. Like, if they yield first, then sure. Yeah, that's another 16 points damage.
Another 16 points of damage. There is a gurgling crack and snap of ribs, and then the spray of light pink blood as his lungs are punctured by several of his ribs, and his floating ribs are now sticking out of his lower abdomen.
You can see through the hand too, so it's really gruesome.
It really is, yes. You can see the blood spurting out of various arteries.
I just drop him like a rag, and I turn to hurry downstairs with the hand sort of floating in front of me like this.
Jorik's like, I needed his soul energy. Fine. And then I'm going to pick up the sword and the necklace from the dead guy who I'm decapitated. Then I'm going to run after other side.
All right.
They looked important. I'll bring them along.
Loot first, kill more later.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you're doing. Right. My people get to act with what people are left. That would be the one miserable... No, there's no archers left. That's it. There is the enchanter, who is currently sensing a very angry Atramentum, who has basically just walked through his two friends. So
I'm just a soldier.
Yeah, just a soldier. He's just watched you completely and utterly obliterate.
It's just illusion magic.
It's all an illusion. He's like, that ain't no goddamn illusion.
Like the blood splattered until you're not 20 feet away.
Isn't it realistic?
Okay, so he is going to... Well, he's pretty damn desperate, to be perfectly honest with you. And
No, yes, this is the crossroads for him. It's like the decision to make. Do I want to continue to fight or cry like a baby?
That is exactly where he is. So he is going to make one of these. He drops to his knees in front of you and basically just wets himself completely. He begs for mercy.
You choose wisely.
He just starts begging for mercy, sniveling, groveling. He grabs your boot and he says, I have a husband. Please don't kill me. We're thinking of adopting children. You know, those orphan types that really don't have much of a future prospect. We've got a really good education system, which I really want to take advantage of. And he just starts rattling on about this and that as desperately as he can. The barbarians... the barbarians are not looking good.
Oh no. There aren't that many enemies for them left, though.
I mean,
No,
there's
that's
just
just
a
that
boy,
big
like,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So another
At
one.
least it's not
drops.
bushy-tailed.
Yeah. It is at that point that the back doors, which are on the upper level, are pushed open, and this
Stage
very...
two.
Sorry?
Stage 2.
Well, stage 2 perhaps, but this very, very indignant-looking elf, definitely Sagetti, steps forward and looks down at the carnage that has been wrought upon his ship. And-
Burning corpses everywhere.
Yes.
Just
He
in the
looks
background, just like, ah!
pretty much. He looks down and he says, Well played. I did not expect you here so soon. We shall have to do better in the future, I suspect.
Like he has a future.
Like he has a future. Wow, you are so mean.
Andrew's eyes at you.
How about you find him
Nothing.
then?
Nothing. Just mumbling to myself down in the corridors.
Yeah, he looks down at the brute and he simply says to it, kill them all. Because he's not particularly original. You don't get into his position by being original.
Level 2 villain speech.
all of them.
Yes.
Level 2 villain speech is just so...
Yeah.
He is, the brute swings twice for Bajora. And it's a solid hit.
Oh.
And that is 27 damage to Bajora. She drops to her knees. She is still she's still alive, but she is definitely bloodied.
Okay, we have to save her for Niels' sake because he has a sort of weird crush on her.
Oh, God.
Just gonna kill this brute with like some stupid questions. Just wait.
Yeah, Kufet then basically launches himself off of the top platform and lands on the deck nearby all of you, basically. But that's what he is doing this round.
You're
Jorik?
leaving near me because I'm up on the...
You are up on that deck, correct. He came out just in front of you and leaps down onto the deck below.
Adresai, were you heading down or up?
Down.
I mean, she was heading down. I don't know where you were heading.
Yeah, I'm probably right behind Adresai, actually.
Sure.
Heading downwards. We're
Sort of just
looking
checking.
for people.
There are people running around in chaos and pandemonium, but they are trying to put the fire out that the ship is currently raging on. There is also leaks that appear to have sprung up in the sides of the ship.
Well, I remember, I'm going to down a healing potion while I'm running.
Sure, that's what you're doing. You're downing a healing potion. Good call. Then we go to Con.
You're muted.
He's speechless.
It's a scorpion. I mean,
I return to my human form.
Sure.
Barbarians. Bureau. Now, so I'm behind the giant, and Bureau is on the other side of him from me.
Correct.
Where are the other barbarians in relation to her?
They've formed a bit of a circle around her, trying to defend her from this creature, but none of them look healthy.
Fantastic. I cast Mass Cure Wounds, centering on her.
You get a heal. You get a heal. Everybody gets a heal.
Which is 3d8 plus 5.
Nice.
It's 5, 13. Ooh, nice. 21 plus 5. 26 hit points each for all the barbarians.
Lovely.
That's a lot. When you spread it out on a lot of people, that's a lot.
That's called healing envy, right there.
That's a big healing. Yeah, that's healing envy indeed.
Saket.
Yes, so we have a large brute.
And
You also have the dude right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
correct. Kufet is just below.
We can deal with him. I'm going to leave him for you guys. Now, wall of fire, I can make a ringed wall up to 20 feet in diameter. I don't actually want it to be 20 foot in diameter. I want it to be about the same diameter as the brute, if that makes sense.
I'm surrounded with a ring of fire.
No, I want it to be like whoosh under his feet, almost.
Okay, so a little bit behind him. Sure, you can do that.
Well, not so much behind him. Like there is no way. Yeah, there is no way of him escaping this. It's like
you can make a wall, a circle.
Yeah, a circle.
Yeah. I understand that, but he's standing right next to Biora.
Yes, it doesn't have to be up to 20 feet in diameter. It could be 5 foot in diameter, and that's kind of what I'm thinking.
The wall itself.
Yeah, in a ring.
But if
I'm worried about the thickness of the wall. So I understand that you
Okay.
can put it around him, but he's standing right in front of Biora.
he's in a melee with the other guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that would be my only
this will
concern.
Not work. Okay. Let's have a look what we've got here. All right, let's just cast lightning bolt.
Oh, just
Then,
lightning.
let's
Ultimate
cast
power.
it at a level 4
Now you
spell.
realize, too late. The power of the
Now.
die.
Yep.
Of
Yep.
the
That's
subjective.
good. Okay, so yeah, if you could make a dexterity saving throw,
I
please.
don't think he can. He gets a 4.
No, well, that's
Not his
through.
thing.
Right, as I'm casting it as a level 4, that's 9 of these, so that's a 12 plus 12 plus 11, so that's 21, I believe. 21, 23, 26, 29 damage.
29. You slam into it. It buckles under the incredible amounts of voltage that course through it, but it doesn't seem to be in any way, shape, or form harmed.
Damn it.
Atra.
Yeah. Pretty sure he knows that I am not on his side.
You say as you leave the groveling, urinating enchanter at your feet. Yes.
All right. Okay, so you have never really described this Sajet. So what is he wearing? What is he kind of wielding?
He is, yes, it's a good question. So he is wearing rather ornate gold plate armor, which is in the style of the Sajeti craftsman. So what that means is it's very minimal actual metal. It sort of forms a V shape. He's wearing a kilt, a white cotton kilt. But you know from experience that there is a huge amount of magic that is sort of contained within this golden cage, if you like, of his armor, which gives him pretty good defense. He has this rather impressive double-headed, the top is a blade, the bottom is a blade, the sort of double-headed glaive, if you like.
Darth Maul style, yes?
Yeah, pretty much. And he seems to be incredibly sure of himself at this point. He has the traditional black hair of the Sajet elves and sports a rather obnoxious little goatee from the bottom of his chin. And
He's gonna die.
yeah, has these dark ochre black eye liner going for him. He also has the brand of the order on his hand.
Ha! He will die of poison because he's using lead in his makeup.
Yeah.
I
You just have to wait 400 years.
20 years.
Bro, for lead poisoning. Ah. Okay, so
God, feeding him high fat
I
food.
think I will now drop my guys.
Sure.
Um,
Eyes narrow as he sees you. He doesn't know who the hell you are. Anyway.
and I will flap in the air. If there's enough space to maneuver, I don't know how
plenty
much
of
rigging.
Yeah, there is a lot of rigging, but it hasn't been. Most of it's been stowed because the ship has been at anchor.
Okay, so if that is the case, I indeed will lift up, and I will use my bonus action to curse him.
He is cursed.
Yeah, curse at you. But like, another thing that I would like to do is scream like a banshee, because that's apparently something I can do.
All right.
The pox on you and your kind.
I denounce you. Yeah, no. So please, everybody, that is him and apparently also the mage, because he's too close. I don't assume the golem will be hit by this, but
Nope.
please give wisdom saving throws or be feared.
Kufet, his wisdom saving throw is 7.
He is now feared. He cannot look at me
Fear.
and my splendidness.
That's the enchanter gets a 17.
So he is not feared, but he's still pissing his pants.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
He's busy. He's feared for another reason.
Of everything and everyone.
Okay, so Kufet actually is mechanically feared of me.
Sure.
So that's too bad. And I will then cast a spell. Because I haven't done that yet. So it's time for a spell.
And the spell is?
A buff. I buff myself.
You buff yourself. Very well. That is what you were doing.
Yep.
Adrusai, you have gone deeper into the hold of the ship, and you can hear the sounds of combat coming from a rather heavily designed wooden door just to the left of the landing. It does sound like someone is being very cocky and arrogant as they are receiving a solid beating. You hear a thwack. Is that the best you have? Come on, my mother hits harder than that. Wow!
It's the Black Knight from Monty Python.
I sort of have the hand sort of hovering above me like this, and I just sort of open the door.
Just like one of the two fingers, just like look around the door.
You look around the door, and you can see there is... well, to be quite honest with you, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individuals all chained up and on their knees. 3 of them are unconscious. One of them is sort of leaning quite heavily and not really moving. The one who is giving very arrogant retorts is a Cathar with currently very red, blood-stained white fur. And he sort of spits out, it looks like a tooth, and he looks back. There is this very large, unfortunately mostly naked woman standing with these large brass knuckles in the one hand. In the other hand, she has this cat o' nine tails and is busy punching him and, well, getting ready to flick him with the flail.
Do I recognize any of the prisoners?
The one looks like you have met him before. It looks to be Ballo, a halfling captain of, you think it's the von Jorgestein, an unaccounted for ship.
Not too much Drakenmore influence on our ship names, I feel.
This is actually named after a Graith general.
Yes, it was a horrible German name.
That makes it better, of course.
I'm just saying, there was representation.
Yeah, Graith is German. Drakenmore is Slavic.
Yeah, well, let's not describe anything that's remotely hoping for accuracy.
Right. Well, I'm going to assume that the chained up people are on our side, and the 2 people who are not chained up are not on our side.
There's only one person who's not chained up. That's the woman who's
right,
currently torturing these.
Right.
5.
I'm going to just sort of swing the door open, and I'm going to move the hand in and just grapple her.
Make your attack.
No! Stop!
No! That's just a strength score. Not great. But 4 plus 8 is 12.
12 to resist. The woman spins around but gets an 8 and is grappled.
Yes. All right. And I did a say, do you yield? With a sort of blood spatter from the guy I smashed earlier, and
Your hand is still bloody too.
Yeah, and a sort of cut and bleeding, and just going, do you yield?
She looks you up and down and sort of licks these rather grotesque lips. Her tongue runs over. It looks like she has someone else's teeth pierced through her lower lip.
Oh.
And she says, for you, little kitty, any day.
Ew. Jorik, ew. Jorik, help. Ew.
The bleeding
Sure,
male
unleash
Cathar-
Yorick.
yeah, the bleeding male Cathar on the deck next to you, he kind of looks up and he goes, wow. As he sees you. That's what's happening there. That was Adra's stuff. Monster's turn. The gigantic golem creature, this titan, turns. Where did you head to, Atra? You flitted towards.
He's up in the air.
You're up in the air. That's right. It turns around and it just attacks a scorpion because the scorpion is right there.
I'm a human now.
Except it's a human now.
Oh yes, now you're a human.
Scorpion
Now
is-
you're a man.
You
A
are
man.
now a man. You are a man. Be free like a man.
I am not an animal.
19 to hit.
Yep.
Ow.
16 points of damage.
That hurt.
And please give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Boo.
That's one of your better ones, though,
Is
if
it?
I remember correctly.
Is it though?
Is it? Is it though? Natural 20.
Ah, fantastic.
Not that actually needs it.
Yay.
It swings
Natural
at you
20.
again. Armor class of 22.
Yeah.
Oh no.
21 damage.
Hey, fucking
Ow.
Give me another Constitution saving throw, please.
Christ on a bike. 17.
You're fine.
Well, you say that.
Beaten, bloodied, and bruised, but fine. So yes, that is what it does. The she has surrendered. He has not surrendered. He looks at you flying up into the air. He can't look at you. He's terrified of you, as a matter of fact.
He can look at me. That's not a problem.
Yes, he can, but he prefers not to because he doesn't know who or what the fuck you are.
There's a demon on the deck.
There is just something floating in the air.
It's a me.
That sadly leaves Con, pretty much the only one on the deck at the moment. He starts walking forward and...
No, he won't. He cannot walk closer to me.
but you're in the air.
But he would move closer to me because I'm between him and Con.
Okay, sure. That's fine. I understand that. He will not walk closer to you, Con. He simply raises his very curved glaive and says, I will enjoy killing you. Do you know what sort of thorn you've been in our side? From the very beginning, I might add. You have never really complied with the order, have you?
It would appear there's a reason for that.
All the ships.
Atramentum is like, no, not really.
Kufet, you're under arrest.
You are very funny. He looks to the golem behind you. Kill him. The golem then gets to make another attack.
What?
Command.
You're the... Ow!
You're under a down.
3 attacks. I'm
Yeah.
dead.
19 to hit.
Yep.
19 damage.
Yep.
Ow.
Bah.
Con goes sailing over the railings and disappears overboard.
Uh-oh. Someone save Con. Spoke.
That would be
We got
minus
more people in water.
11.
Minus 11.
Ow.
It's fine. I mean, it only cares if you're with one hit lower than half your maximum hit points.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So you are
No, your maximum hit
floating
points. So doesn't matter.
for now.
Hopefully there are more people with healing spells.
Oh, there are plenty of more people down there. They are enjoying the fireworks. So that is... She has surrendered. That takes us to...
You're under
Has she really surrendered? She just seems really creepy.
She's held in the hands and has her eyes firmly locked on Adrasai.
Does this seem like a sex dungeon thing, or is this an actual torture thing?
It looks like a torture chamber. There are
Thank
racks
you. I
mounted.
was starting to
There are-
wonder.
Yeah, no, there are racks everywhere. There are utensils everywhere. The Cathar kind of looks over at you, Jorik. Do you mind? And he sort of indicates the chains.
Not at all. I'm going to go and slice up all the chains and get them out of there.
There's only the Cathar is awake. The other one that was sort of slumped over is passed out from bleeding. And
I'm still going to take them. Actually, there were 5 of them.
Yep.
I'm going to, as I release them, I'm going to feed each of them healing potion. I have 3.
Sure. So 3 are awake plus the wounded Cathar. There's one that's still unconscious.
I've got a couple as well. So.
Yeah.
So
you just drop this thing off of the ship or something, Adrasai? We don't have time for this. Or we tie her up?
We got a bit of chains here.
Yeah, okay, let's chain her up.
Oh, yes, chain me up.
Oh, God. Don't talk.
Shut up!
No.
That's
what we do. We're freeing them and chaining the woman up.
Sure, not a problem. She sadly does not resist. Con, you need to give me a death saving throw.
7.
7. Saket.
God damn it, Con. Why? I scream at the merfolk, save that man! 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm coming!
What are you doing?
I dive off the ship towards Con.
Aw.
Hopefully not hitting the whale on my way down.
Ow! Water is a lot
Actually,
harder.
the ship at this point is grounded. So
You dive down into the waters and you swing after the slowly sinking form of Con. Give me an athletics check, if you please.
Oh, okay. And my athletics modifier is probably not very good, but that was quite a good roll. Okay, well, with that, it's a 19.
19. You swim down to the unconscious form of Con.
Way better than I would have done, can tell you.
Well, that was with a +1, so I mean,
I have -1, so...
You get to him, and then you try and break for the surface, I assume?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, you drag the very leaky Con up. You can feel all his bones seem he seems very squishy, very malleable
I
at
know
the
how
moment.
that feels.
You.
As everything is broken. Atra.
yeah, since they all left,
Yes. You're like, huh? What are you doing?
I fly back to the ship.
You're flying back to the Windswift.
They all left. They don't apparently don't want to fight this.
It did. All right. You start flapping away in the direction of the Windswift. That then brings us down to Adrusai.
Yes. I'm gonna hand out 2 of my healing potions to the
Sure.
remaining asleep one and to the wounded Cathar.
Sure.
And I'm gonna say, what else is important down here? We need to go murder Kufet.
I'm the only one who's important down here, says the
Okay,
Cathar,
but we're a little busy.
Sure, I get it. This is a great save. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I couldn't hope for anyone
find
better.
weapons and sweep this area, and we can head back upstairs.
Kufet's not yet dead.
No, as far as we know.
Then I would probably say our better bet is to get off the ship while we can.
Hell no!
Murder him. We finally got here. We're gonna murder his butt, okay?
And you've
Find
taken
some
out
weapons.
his little pet.
What? No, not what pet?
Giant. I was being facetious. It's a thing. It's whatever.
We'll deal with that when we get to it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Look, just
You
get
5, arm yourselves. Sweep the deck around here. We'll deal with Kufet, all right? Come up when you're done.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Just sort of rush back.
Wait, before you go, where's the ship that you came in on?
What's in the water, dumbass?
Well, obviously it's in the water, you stupid. All right, so the two of you are rushing upstairs.
Yes.
Sure. I'm going to move you at the same time. It's not a problem.
This is gonna suck.
Yeah,
But
you
Jorik doesn't
rush
know.
I'm
upstairs
so sorry. I
and
couldn't leave him. He's rescued me way too many times.
Yes.
It's
You
only fair.
manage to get out onto deck using up a double move to get there. As you do, of course, there is the giant who is now staring down into the face of Biora, who is kneeling before him, and then there's this very arrogant-looking elf standing there.
Can I tell what this giant is exactly? Like, is it a construct? Is it
It definitely looks like a construct. At first glance, you thought it was just a big soldier, but it's definitely not just a big soldier. There is a gleam to the armor and to the skin underneath it as well.
So do I know anything about these things?
Give me an Arcana check.
You can do this.
There were 8 barbarians left that can't heal, right?
6.
Yeah,
6. Okay.
23.
23. This could possibly be a clay golem. If so, it's immune to a lot of different types of magic and effects. It'll be under the control of someone. Most likely, that individual is Kufet, whom you can see standing behind it. Although he's currently walking over to the edge of the ship where Cpt.8.4 has previously thrown herself. Of course, you don't know that. Yeah, it's a very, very dangerous thing. It's very easy to hit because it doesn't move very quickly, but it certainly packs a punch.
Yeah. Considering my hand... no, I can move the hand up to 60 feet, actually.
Yep.
So can I do forceful hand on it? Can it reach? You can push it?
It can reach. You're going to try and push it?
Yeah. It's a strength check contested by his strength athletics.
Sure. Okie dokes, let's do this.
Please roll well for once.
His athletics check is a whopping 13.
18 plus 8 is 26.
You push him 10 feet away from Biora.
I push him 5
What?
feet plus a number of feet equal to 5 times my spellcasting ability modifier, which is 25. So I can push him 30 feet, and I'm going to push him into the water.
All right.
Not bad. Just fuck off.
Boom!
One punch.
One punch, kada.
Okay. All right. I don't have an issue with that. I'm going to give him a dexterity saving throw as he gets to the
That's
edge.
fine. We sort of grasp for the mast or whatever.
Yeah, but at a grand total of 3, he's going over. You push him over the side of the ship. Khan and Cpt.8.4, you are just emerging when 5.5 tons of clay pass into the water and disappears down into darkness. Cpt.8.4, Khan, you need to give me another death saving throw, if you please.
1.
Oh, come on.
That's 2 additional fails.
Yeah.
That's 2 additional fails.
Yes.
Yeah, roll a
Okay.
1.
He did.
Oh no!
He is dead. Cpt.8.4, you feel Khan's life force draining away. What are you doing?
I can't stuff a healing potion down his mouth.
Too late.
Healing potion won't work in this case, I'm afraid.
I have no healing magic.
Is it a con save or just a dice roll?
Just a
So
dice.
it's a dice roll.
Just dice roll.
It's a con save of sorts.
Yeah.
Now
I have nothing here except to bring his dead body home.
Well,
Is that what you're doing?
I'm gonna toss his body onto the back of the whale and see if any of the merfolk can help me.
What are you asking them?
Help!
Save him.
Save him! Think he's dead. Possibly. Someone got healing magic? No. Shit. Jorik.
They don't seem to be able to help you, but I don't think a regular healing spell will help anyway.
No, you need some form of resurrection.
Correct.
Which I had a couple of episodes back, but not anymore.
Oh.
Because Changing abilities.
They all shake their heads.
Gouffet, by the way, is no longer feared by me.
Aha. What are you doing, Saket?
I've got a dead con on my hands. Really? Two failed saves is...
Yes.
The natural one is the double fail or a double save.
That's shitty.
Oh, was it trying to wake up?
I have nothing. I have nothing.
Nope.
Nope.
I am afraid.
All right.
My action is to just stick him on the back of the whale and tell the merfolk to look after the body so we can give him a decent burial at least. And
You're just rising off that quickly. All right.
We're kind of in the middle of something.
yeah, I know. I need to get back up there, so I'm gonna have to use Dimension Door to go. Well, hang on. Where the fuck is Atra right now?
Can't see
He's
it.
flying away. He just left the deck, I think.
Correct.
You don't know
Can I
where,
scream after him to come back?
Can't see
Yeah.
it.
You don't know his life.
I don't know where he is. Okay,
I mean,
all right.
it's like
So,
that you are in the water, right? And the damage to the ship is quite tall.
Correct.
cool. Well, I can go up too. So, all right. So I will Dimension Door up and away from the golem that's just gone overboard.
Sure.
Doubt it can swim, but
It's probably sinking like a rock.
it's probably a rock.
It's probably a rock, yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Top of the round, Atra, you still flying back towards Windswift with speed, I imagine.
No, not necessarily. I'm just like circling and seeing what's happening.
Sure.
So the golem sort of.
Get the fuck out of here.
Adversary?
I'm going to just. I don't have a lot of. I think I have 2 turns left on this hand now. It lost a minute. So I'm going to use clenched fist. I'm just going to sort of do, and then it's just going to fly at Gouffet.
Make your attack.
Fist
Punch
to
him
the
back.
face.
Punch him back
Fisticuffs.
into his room, basically. Melee spell attack.
Sure.
I've never done that before.
It's the same as ranged spell attack.
Yeah, fair enough. That is 27.
Oh my god.
Hit.
You're kicking ass today.
I am. I like the spell. And that is 4d8 force damage.
Sure. Do damage.
The d8 is getting some love today. 15.
15 damage.
He gets punched in the face by a giant hand.
He does. Knocked sideways. He growls at you. And it's his turn. He starts marching forward. You've grown some teeth, cat. It seems a shame to put you down.
You
And
ain't seen what I've grown yet, you.
He just starts spinning his staff, glaive thing, and attacks you. The first attack hits an armor class of 15.
Miss.
Second attack hits an armor
Glasses
class
of the mage armor.
15. Third attack is 28.
That hits.
Oh my god.
Evus, that hits.
And give me a Constitution saving throw, because that's 11 base damage.
Eesh. 13.
That ain't good enough, I'm afraid. So you take 20 points of damage as the magical energy of this glaive bites into you.
Yes. Ow. I'm low, but I'm not dead.
I'm not dead yet. I have a tag.
Not dead.
Not
I
dead.
feel happy. I feel happy.
Then, from that side of the room, oh boy, that's interesting. Would you please? Would you
kindly?
Would you kindly? Would you please? I beg of you, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Me?
Who's you?
You as the only one on the deck at the moment.
11.
No, I'm there too.
Sure. He hasn't
11?
seen you engage yet. 11. You are suddenly held. You are completely immobilized as this spell wraps itself around you and paralyzes you for a certain amount of time.
Does that affect her hand, though? That's a mental thing.
Doesn't-
Just
Actually,
slap him
I
around.
believe
unconscious, she would lose it.
Yeah.
She's just paralyzed.
Correct. So there
Actually,
are.
it moves at my command, mimicking the movements of my own hand. So I have to actually.
Yeah, but the spell still, it's a concentration spell, so the spell.
Yeah, like it's still there, but it can't.
It's like the hand is currently. You're like,
It's sort of hovering in the air.
just swing it. Just swing. No, that's not going.
Slap him! Slap him!
That is what happens there. That then takes us to Jorik.
I'm angry.
Sure.
So I'm going to throw myself at this dude and stab him many times.
Stabbing many, many times.
How many times? A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Many times.
You have no idea how many times. That is a natural 20. So that's 36. And then we get the lethal strike.
Let's hope.
All right, I need to actually confirm before I start counting. I am stupid. 9 is on the confirm.
Double damage.
Double damage. So yeah, 36 for the attack, and then 73 from the lethal strike.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shit, I'm running out of juice.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your action?
That is both my actions, because, you know, attack and bonus action is the actual damage.
Gotcha.
I don't do this much damage with just a melee attack. I'm sorry.
There you go. Saket.
Right. So Jorik is now in melee with.
Yes.
With Kufet, correct.
Giant blue hand just hovering above him.
Yes.
Slightly.
Just you wait.
I'm gonna get you.
Just.
Is hold person a concentration spell, by the way?
It is.
He needs to make a con save then.
If it is him who casted it.
Hold person.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right. For now, then we'll just go with lightning bolt.
Sure thing. It's a good stock standard attack weapon.
I will
Good zap.
also use one of my sorcery points to do careful spell, so I don't hit Jorik in the same moment.
Good choice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's okay. Sometimes I think. Right. Okay. If you can make a Kufet can make a dexterity saving throw.
He gets a natural 14.
He fucked.
Yeah, he is. So that's 14 Fuck, my brain is not good. 16, 25. Ooh, 35 damage.
35 damage. How does he die?
Yes!
None of it.
So much
But
damage.
with lightning damage, he's going to basically go.
He drops to his knees, falls over, crispy and slightly smoking.
Can I
He
move
killed Khan. He deserves to die. People deserve to die.
Can I move
We'll be
again?
back next week when the adventure of Windswift continues. You had an extra half hour on today's show, so don't say I don't like you. Anyway, if you like us, hit that like button. You can also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already joined our legions of the New Order, I think it was called, or the Fulcrum, or the
Fulcrum.
the bendy bit, the We Are Not, the Old Order, whatever they call themselves.
The other order.
The other
Yes.
other order. And we will see you all again next week when the adventures continue. just very, very quickly, because we did go at least half an hour over time. Thoughts on today's battle, because that's pretty much what it was, starting with Con, the dead one.
Con's dead, no thoughts.
No thoughts, Con's dead. I'm going
He doesn't
home.
think anymore.
Yes, well. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
Let's see what happens next week.
Character
Short and sweet.
roll.
I like it. Jorik, short and sweet.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about today. It was a battle, and it went surprisingly well, aside from Con dying.
Yes.
Jorik has. I've never played D&D before I actually started playing with Windswift, so I have been crunching numbers like mad today to make this go together and use Jorik as best as I can. So I'm really on my last bits right now. After this, I'm going to be tickling people. But it was fun, though.
Sure.
It was fun this far. And fun to actually be in the thick of things, doing melee stuff, because I've always been ranged before, but I've kind of been transitioning into melee since Blackston disappeared. So it was fun.
Absolutely.
See that it works.
Simon?
Yeah, it was funny. It was a fun episode. I was surprised when everybody kind of left the deck, so to say.
Well, Con got thrown off.
Yeah, it's
and
not
then
exactly like we all thought sod this and walked away.
No.
No, one person voluntarily left to save Con. Like,
But
Yep.
there was actually something that I wanted to do, which I didn't get to do, which is save Con. But
Not yet. Next week, hopefully. Let's see what happens there. Saket, you were bolting and lightning and bolting and firing.
I mean,
Cat was
I
doing her
guess-
thing.
I
Yeah.
guess for the decision why I left is like everybody left and he doesn't really see himself fighting this guy one-on-one. He has nothing
Indeed.
to do with necessarily directly. And yeah, see
That's
how
okay.
this develops.
We'll have to get Adricide to message you to come back and see.
Yeah, I'm still looking.
Oh, he's still around.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's still
Uh,
flapping in the arches. Yep.
So yeah, I mean that was Saket doing Saket things, and trying to save Con, because let's face it, Con has probably saved her a few times, to say the least. Now, so yeah, I really hope we can get Atra to save Con, but I'm at the moment he's stuck on the back of a whale with the merfolk, which is very sad.
Very, very sad.
That's all my thoughts for this week.
Adversary?
fun. I thought it was sort of good variety in the fights. It wasn't just like roll attack, roll dodge, roll miss. It was like, there was spells, there was scorpion, there was that, there was like flying, there was like just a lot of fun things going on and spells being thrown around. And that was like actually got to be helpful in combat for once. That hand was better than I thought it was, honestly.
That was amazing.
That
was-
great.
That was more powerful than I thought it was when I picked it. I mean, I thought it was good, but like, damn.
Getting rid of the golem was amazing.
Oh, I did not, like, I just sort of realized, I didn't think that was going to work as well as it did. I just sort of, like, that was at least going to take a couple of turns, but like when it says what it says kind of thing.
That's
I mean,
it.
it's a very high level spell as well, right? So
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, like, in a different situation, it definitely wouldn't have been as usable because, I mean, you put it in the water. Like, it wouldn't really have worked very well if you went on a ship, really.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, great variety, good fun.
Well, there you have it. A giant combat resulting in the potential death of our dear Dr. Khan.
Die.
What will happen? Only fate will tell us, I suppose. Or, Atra.
all the dungeon master.
Dice
Or
roll.
Dungeon Master. Yes. Anyway, until next week, from all of us, thanks for watching. Till then, goodbye.